Everyone thought that was going to be a short-term problem. It's turned into a long-term problem. We're probably what I'm going to call years away from going back to the normal mode of ordering vehicles for delivery for a customer. There's just no way to set the timeline anymore.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Across the Tailgate. I'm here today in Audubon with Pat Kaiser. And Pat, we just got done working out a deal on a new truck here. So, Pat, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your company here?
Okay. We're a Chevrolet and Buick dealership. We've been in business since 1970. We kind of strive to use the hometown philosophy and take really good care of our customers. And we basically sell new Chevrolet and Buick products and lots of pre-owned trucks.
And Pat, something that we had a conversation about, and I thought it was worth rehashing a little bit here, a place where our businesses have really lined up here recently, and not so much in a good way, is with the challenges around supply chain. And so it's impacted my business, it's impacted your business. What has been the biggest struggle out of that for you? What have you had to do different that 2 years ago we maybe, or even a year ago, we maybe didn't think about?
On the new vehicle side, the vehicles are rationed, I guess is the best way to put it, on a lot smaller scale because we have a lot fewer units to work with. On the pre-owned side, we've been forced to go out and acquire our vehicles from farther distances and acquire more pre-owned vehicles to serve our customers to fill the gap with the new vehicle shortage.
So that's certainly changed the dynamic of how you do business. One of the interesting things I noticed, not only are we unaware of when we're going to actually be able to get things, even our suppliers don't know when they're going to get things. So it might be one single chip that's holding up an entire order for, in your case, a truck or a car. And in my case, an entire planner system or auto steer system. One little chip or one little part can just absolutely derail the whole thing. And the manufacturers aren't even sure when they're getting the stuff. So
absolutely, because a lot of the manufacturers always had their whole process based on last minute delivery of all the components.
Yeah.
Well, now where certain things aren't available, you have to improvise. Items get deleted from the vehicles to keep the plants running. Vehicles get built and placed to the side, awaiting a component or chip to be brought back in and completed. It has slowed down their assembly process greatly. Also, it has kind of thrown a little bit of a wrench in their logistics of getting the vehicles from the plants to the dealer, because that whole entire flow with railroads and trucking has gotten equally slowed down. So movement of the vehicles as well as the manufacture of the vehicles has been a big issue for, I think, all the manufacturers.
For sure. And we started, I think it was last March, we started talking about a new truck. And I said, well, I'm probably getting close to ready. And I think last March we had no idea what was ahead of us, or we would have jumped on the first one we found.
Absolutely. In hindsight, everybody that in the automotive side of it would have done some things different early on. But the end result is everyone has run out of product. Sure. We probably just would have ran completely out of product a few months earlier. Everyone thought that was going to be a short-term problem. It's turned into a long-term problem. We're probably what I'm going to call years away from going back to the normal mode of ordering vehicles for delivery for a customer. There's just no way to set the timeline anymore.
Well, and that's an interesting point because everybody asks the question of how long until this is behind us? And the best answer I have right now is we don't know, but probably not in 2022. And the early part of 23 is not looking good either.
Absolutely. And it doesn't matter whether it's in anything manufactured.
Yeah.
Electronics, ag equipment, automotive, it doesn't seem to make any difference what it is. Everything that's manufactured is affected that way.
No, that's exactly right. And you brought up something earlier when we were talking about even just options on the truck. We talked about cab lights on a pickup and how that was something you had to go back through and change and cancel off of some of your orders just to be able to get vehicles.
Yeah, because it would be an item where if you didn't delete it, the truck wasn't going to get built.
Right.
And so some small items that we kind of usually take for granted that aren't available. We have tried to improvise to keep the flow going, and hopefully it isn't items on most vehicles that are going to be a deal breaker.
Right. And I think that really highlights the most important part of what you and I have had to do in our businesses to keep things moving is communication with the customers and making sure that we're trying to take care of the customers. We've got to look for ways to really figure out what it is that the customer needs and how can we meet their needs given the rules that we're trying to play in, and getting creative with how we order things and getting inventory in for our customers.
Yeah, absolutely. And being able to do it in a way that you can still be realistic on the pricing and how you arrange what units get delivered when, as far as what order each customer gets served. Choosing, what product can be built to deliver by X time.
Right. And, ultimately that's the end goal for both of us is how do we take good care of our existing customers and repeat business customers. And when we do happen to get some extra inventory in, it's certainly not hard to move. So, how do you position that in a way that does the most good? Have you had to do anything unique there to take care of the customers you work with?
Absolutely, because our loyal customer base that we've been working with for years, we kind of owe it to them to try to serve them first. And so as our product comes in, you have outside sources calling and chasing and offering additional dollars and things for the product. But you have to just, you have to decide, are you going to be focused on your customers?
Right.
Or are you, to be able to take care of the customers that you've already committed to?
Well, and that again, I think is something that resonates with both of our businesses is you do what's right and beneficial to your customer base that have gotten you to where you're at.
Yep, because they're the ones that are going to be our future.
Exactly, because it'd be real easy to dump inventory and make a extra few dollars on it in the current environment.
It's kind of like anything, do you make the fast buck or the smart dollar?
Exactly.
The long term, you got to look at your long term goals with your existing customer base and figure out how to best serve that with what you have to work with.
Yep. And so here we are many months after our first conversation about trading into a new truck, and it is one of those deals where we try to keep our trucks that are rolling up and down the road. We put a lot of miles on in a short amount of time. We try and keep them traded out and into fairly late model trucks because we do put miles on so quick and we need them to be dependable. It's an important part of our business is to be able to get to our customers and service them. And so I just want to say thanks, Pat, for being diligent and finding the inventory for me so we could have another truck here to be able to keep moving up and down the road.
Well, we appreciate your business and we appreciate you understanding and being patient enough for us to be able to make it happen.
Absolutely.
It's got to be kind of a team effort.
Any final thoughts on the supply chain?
Well, all we can do is in every business is just try to make the most of what we have to work with
Absolutely.
in the short run, and hope that as time passes, things get better.
All right. Well, thanks again, Pat, and thanks for taking some time to chat with us today. And we'll, I'm sure, be back for another truck at some point.
All right. Thank you.